Back on First Take with a quick take. The Denver Nuggets won their 10th straight game on Wednesday, beating the Grizzlies 136-119. David, are the Nuggets actually the biggest threat to OKC in the West?
So I would still say that San Antonio, from what we've seen in the regular season, is the biggest threat for OKC in the West. But this Denver team absolutely can beat anybody in the West, including the Spurs and OKC. Unfortunately, they'll have to go through both of those teams to make a finals run. But what we saw over the weekend between Denver and San Antonio was absolutely revealing about what this championship team looks like. Jokic thought he was slick. We've been worried about some of that defense. When it came crunch time against that Spurs squad, he was moving those feet. He was playing great defense, and he looked like the best player on the court. And when you have the best player on the court and the best player in the world in Jokic, you have a shot against anybody.
All right, so speaking of threats in the West, the Spurs won 112-101 in their first game without Wemby since he suffered a rib contusion earlier this week. De'Aaron Fox led the way, 25 points. 6 Spurs players scored in double figures to help offset that loss of Wembanyama. Our Shams Charania has reported that there is confidence Wemby will play again in the regular season to meet the 65-game requirement for postseason awards. And the Spurs will close out the regular season with 2 home games against the Mavs on Friday, the Nuggets on Sunday. San Antonio locked into the 2 seed in the Western Conference. And as we know, Victor Wembanyama's got to play 20 minutes in one of those games to be eligible for NBA awards. I know this is a hot-button topic, Vince, about the 65-game rule. It's the eligibility rule that was designed by the NBA to curb load management. But this rule, because of so many stars this year, from Luka Doncic to Victor Wembanyama to Cade Cunningham, might not be eligible for those awards because they don't meet that threshold. Is it time for that rule to go?
The rule just got here. It's not like this has been some long-standing rule, but I do have a proposal for you guys.
Okay.
My fellow Americans, I come to you with a humbled heart, and this is what I suggest. Can you hear my presidential music? I don't hear my presidential music. Somebody to help me out. But I think the 65-game rule is just fine. I think there's a modification I can make to the 65-game rule. I think if you don't get to 65, you can't win MVP, you can't be All-NBA first team. But can you be second team? Can you be third team? Yes, because attendance matters in today's NBA. Sometimes if you miss out on games, you just miss out on games. And we all understand how important attendance is, y'all. So I'll come to you when I'm president. This is going to be my campaign promise. Stars will play. Stars will be held accountable. Stars will get paid. And stars, if they miss it by a game or two, they will be able to appeal to me, your president, to see if they can get All-NBA first team or MVP. But only if they fall a game short.
You got hail to the Chief playing. I mean, that's well done.
Thank
well
you.
done. You've got my vote. You don't look like you feel the same way about Vince's proposal here. It doesn't look like you're going to be checking his name on the ballot, David.
I'm sorry, I blacked out when he said president. I don't know, you president of what? I don't know what president of the Shiny Earring Club, president. I don't know what president we're talking about here.
Why you
know,
hate-
talking
why
about
you
the
hate on
president
the
of the United
blame?
States of
Why you
America.
hate on the
You
blame?
can't possibly talk about that. If I can cast my ballot for anybody else right now, I will do that right now. I'm sorry, I blacked out in the whole conversation. But if we're going to talk about the 65-game rule, I think you should just get rid of it. Just absolutely get rid of it. It's a thing where you have voters, or you're making voters decide something that they already decide anyway. For the most part, voters do not vote for guys for MVP or first team if they play 60, 58, 55 games. That already factors in to how you do the voting. And to point to how sort of silly this rule is, if Victor Wembanyama at any point in these next 2 games stands in the corner during a game for 20 minutes and does nothing, suddenly he's eligible for Defensive Player of the Year, and he wouldn't be if he didn't do that. Or look at somebody like Jokic. If Jokic bangs his toe or catches a cold and misses a game, suddenly he's not one of the best players, one of the 5 best players in the world. We can't consider him for MVP or first team All-NBA. I just don't want to live in a world in which I can check off a box for DeAndre Ayton for MVP, and I cannot check off a box for Luka Doncic for MVP. The rule does not need to exist because voters already honor the rule by not voting for people for not playing enough games.
But he's getting, like, well, let's use Cade Cunningham as an example. He's getting penalized right now, and he's somebody who said, like, I understand the rule, I respect the rule, but he's getting penalized for an injury.
A legitimate injury.
In a legitimate injury. And that's the problem, Vince, where you have, like, Luka Doncic didn't try to hurt his hamstring. He wasn't load managing his way into not playing. That was an injury. Same thing with Cade Cunningham. Same thing with Wemby. Like, how do you rectify that part?
I think we're looking at the end and not looking at the beginning. Like, David's bringing up not being able to check these guys off on a ballot and saying that they can't win MVP. That's not why the rule was put in place. The rule was put in place so that fans can buy a ticket, can sit down at a game, and know that the best player will not be in street clothes. And that's why you have to put the rule in place, to incentivize players to play. It's not to incentivize players so they can get an award. That's just a function of the 65 games. You want to make sure that the fans that are paying top dollar, to the broadcasters that are paying top dollar to get these games, that you're going to get the players playing if you're healthy. If you're not healthy, you don't play. And I think sometimes with the Cade Cunningham thing, sometimes it's unfortunate circumstances that just happen. He's going to appeal to the NBA. There's going to be an independent arbitrator that comes up. So we're going to see what happens. But I think the 65 games is fine because you want players to play.
Well, these guys are all playing. All the guys that are being penalized are playing. The only reason they're not are catastrophic injuries, collapsed lung, bruised rib, the injury to Jokic in the leg. Like, these are real legitimate injuries. And what we're talking about when we're talking about these awards is chronicling the history of the game. And when I'm talking to my little one and Vinny is president and we're talking about why didn't Victor Wembanyama, I thought he was so dominant. Why didn't he win Defensive Player of the Year? Well, son, it's because Kawhi Leonard didn't play enough games in 2022.
That's why we have
sense.
All-NBA second team.
Well, it's the
Well, you need the guys to be. I want the top 5 guys in the top 5 players in the world to be recognized as the top 5 players in the world. Not even to mention all of the salary ramifications that you have when you have a guy getting a supermax, because now you have 5 or 6 guys who are not in All-NBA, and how that throws off your books as a team. It is just such a catastrophic decision. And yes, it's new, but when people are wrong, they can change course on a wrong decision at any time. And the NBA needs to change course in the rule, because this year and this year alone exemplifies why it's a bad rule.
It was collectively bargained. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of things.
Legacy is one thing, but you are right. These are tied to future earnings of these players, which certainly matters to their bottom line more than just, awards that are put into trophy case for years to come. All right. Put in this, Jason Tatum's
here.
I'm here.
Nikola Jokic will spoil Wemby's playoff run. Fact or fiction?
I'm causing chaos this morning. I'm gonna go fact on this one. I have been one who has been consistently reticent about the inexperience of the Spurs, and so I'm gonna lean all the way in on that thought. The Nuggets have the experience. Fact, they play smart.
Wow, Vince, your thoughts?
I mean, one thing we can say about Jokic is he shows up in the playoffs even if his team doesn't. And if there's one person that Jokic has problems with or doesn't have problems with, it's Big Slim.
He's done all right with them.
I'll say maybe.
Okay. Tim, we're going to bring you back in here. Back-to-back titles for the Thunder is inevitable. It's going to happen. Tim, fact or fiction?
I can't go inevitable. Inevitable is too strong a word. Let's replace inevitable with likely, and I will go fact there. They are the favorites. They are the